We bought into this complete falsehood that at some point you're going to have the courage. At some point you're going to have the confidence, and it's total bullshit, frankly. Are we allowed to swear on this show?
Absolutely.
Okay. It's complete garbage, and so there are so many people in the world, and you know, you may be watching this right now, and you have these incredible ideas, and what you think is missing is motivation, and that's not true, because the way that our minds are wired. And the fact about human beings is that we are not designed to do things that are uncomfortable or scary or difficult. Our brains are designed to protect us from those things because our brains are trying to keep us alive. And in order to change, in order to build a business, in order to be the best parent, the best spouse, to do all those things that you know you want to do with your life, with your work, with your dreams, you're going to have to do things that are difficult, uncertain, or scary, which sets up this problem for all of us. You're never gonna feel like it. Motivation's garbage. You only feel motivated to do the things that are easy, right?
Why do you think that is?
Oh, I know exactly why that is. Because I've studied this so much, because for me, one of the hardest things to figure out was, why is it so hard to do the little things that would improve my life? And what I've come to realize, and what we'll talk a lot about today, is that the way that our minds are designed is our minds are designed to stop you at all costs from doing anything that might hurt you. And the way that this all happens is it all starts with something super subtle that none of us ever catch. And that is with this habit that all of us have that nobody's talking about. We all have a habit of hesitating. We have an idea, you're sitting in a meeting, you have this incredible idea, and instead of just, you know, saying it, you stop and you hesitate. Now, what none of us realize is that when you hesitate, just that moment, that micro moment, that small hesitation, it sends a stress signal to your brain. So then your brain goes to work to protect you. It has a million different ways to protect you. One of them is called the spotlight effect. It's a known phenomenon where your brain magnifies risk. Why? To pull you away from something that it perceives to be a problem. And so you can truly trace every single problem or complaint in your life to silence and hesitation. Those are decisions. And what I do, and what's changed my life, is waking up and realizing that motivation's garbage. I'm never gonna feel like doing the things that are tough or difficult or uncertain or scary or new. So I need to stop waiting until I feel like it. And number two, I am one decision away from a totally different marriage, a totally different life, a totally different job, a totally different income, a totally different relationship with my kids. Your life comes down to your decisions. And if you change your decisions, you will change everything.
People should fucking stop complaining.
Right.
People should figure out who the fuck they are.
Good call.
People should not listen to America propaganda of fixing the shit they suck at. They should be tripling down at what they're good at. They should be competent in certain areas, but you're not gonna become Beyonce, or, you know, like your bone structure is a certain way. Like, you're not gonna solve everything. Your IQ can get a little bit better, but don't worry about the incremental. Figure out what you fucking puts you on fire and you're halfway decent at. If you're lucky enough right now to be listening and you're good at what you like, become tunnel fucking vision. Because there's way too many voices telling you what and how. And here's the other thing, and this is the big one, Joe, because you have a humongous audience. The biggest thing that I've seen dividends from: have the conversation with the person that's holding you back. The reason most people who are listening right now are not doing that thing is they're worried about the opinion of somebody, usually their mother, usually their father. And the reality is that your spouse may be the person holding you back, and you have to have that conversation.
Cut them off.
We have to get to a place where you're doing you, because the number one thing that scares the fuck out of me is regret. And you're gonna sit there at 72 and you're gonna say, I wish, I wish, I wish. And whether that's money or spend more time with your family, there's a million ways to do this.
Our whole lives are guided moment to moment by the state we're in. Learning how to change your state, not bullshit, not fake, but to go from pissed off, frustrated, freaked out to back in your center, or creative, or determined, or something that's going to move you forward. It's going to create a better quality of life for you and others. That's a critical skill set. So moment to moment, our life's controlled by our states.
Yep.
You know, if you're in an angry state, you're going to respond differently than if you're feeling playful. But what controls those states long term is your model of the world. Everyone has different goals and dreams and desires, but as I traveled around the world to 100 countries, I started going, holy shit, I'm seeing the same problems. What's underneath it? I began to see that there are these same 6 human needs that we all have, the same needs. We all have a need for certainty, that we can avoid pain and we can have some pleasure, some comfort. We all need uncertainty. We need variety, or we feel dead inside. If you're totally certain, you're bored. If you have total variety, you're like freak out. And it's not a balance. It's learning which of these you need more as a person. Everyone's developed a different set of values in that area. The need for significance, to feel unique, special, important, the need to feel loved, the need to grow, and the need to contribute. Some people value certainty at the top of their list. That's their center of their target. I don't want to do anything unless I know it's going to work. I don't want to do anything unless it's the same. If you change anything, they freak out. If you're driven by love first, you want certainty too, but love is higher, you're going to behave very differently than if you're driven by significance. I have to be the one. The two that most people have, 90% of the planet, if you said, of all these needs, which one do you really focus on most day to day? Everybody wants love, but what do you focus on? Most people focus on being significant. We live in a Facebook world where people fake their life, put new filters, make it look different than it really is, tell stories that, you know, are totally full of it to make themselves look good. Because we live in this kind of false world where significance is more important than love.
Right.
And it separates us.
Writing a book or making a movie or editing videos or starting a company, these are really hard things to do, right? It's incredibly difficult. It's often very discouraging. There's not a lot of validation until very much at the end of the process, right? And so what happens is that talking about these things is always easier and always much more validating than doing them if you sort of have the wrong attitude. So what you see is people spending all their time on social media talking about what they're doing instead of struggling to do it, right? And there's a big problem with that. There's the Henry Ford quote where he's saying, you can't build a reputation on what you're going to do. And so people are spending their time, you're sort of missing the point, right? You're talking about writing a novel instead of struggling to write that novel. And so you have to understand that ultimately the best thing you can do for your brand and for yourself is to just make really great stuff. You know what I mean? A book that changes people's lives, but quietly changes people's lives is still going to be a much better tool for you than a book that you market the crap out of that has very little resonance or impact, right? So I want people to question the amount of time that they put on things like social media. I want you to question whose interests you're serving when you're posting on there. Like, there's a great line, if you're not paying for it, then you're the product that's being sold, right? Like, you don't pay for Facebook, so Facebook sucks as much time out of you as it possibly can. It makes it as addictive as it possibly can, and then it sells you to advertisers. And so you want to make sure that you're not giving up your sort of precious life and your precious energy that could be spent on your work, basically dicking around on social network.
Guys that don't have a larger purpose, when they get in pain, what's their interpretation of the pain?
Sucks.
I'm a victim. I've been victimized. That thing victimized me. I've been victimized. Victimize me. I want to complain. I'm gonna complain. What's the complaint gonna do, homie? I speak the truth. I speak the truth. Okay, so what? What's it gonna do? I'm just saying the truth. Like, dude, what the fuck are you saying, dude? Every second out of your mouth with this shit is a loss of your life. This is a peak of your life. What are you talking about this shit for? You don't need to blame anything for anybody. Dude, if I get robbed, you know what I say to myself? I go, oh, I guess I shouldn't have put myself in a position to get robbed. If I get fucked over, I go, oh, I guess I shouldn't put myself in a position to get fucked over. Sometimes I even get fucked over in very unfair ways. And then you know what I say to myself? I say, oh, well, a lot of my situation is good, and maybe I wouldn't have this situation if these other fucked up things weren't happening, and I'm trying to remove those fucked up things out of my life, but in the meantime, they're there, and that's part of the life I'm in, so I accept it and I work my way out. Full self-responsibility. And dude, I do get sometimes victimized. I actually do. But again, I'm not like, victimize me. Okay, I'm just like, well, sometimes in life isn't fair. Sometimes my situation is not totally fair, and if I keep working on improving my situation, I'll have less of that in the future. But then again, my kid could get killed in a car accident, and then all that little fucking victimize me won't mean shit anyway. So life's gonna have an inherent level of pain and unfairness in it. You try to minimize it for what you can, the rest you accept. Part of life is like, you know, improving your execution, competence, and ability to control your situation. Another part of it is just learning to accept that it's gonna be fucked up either way.
This motherfucker, between 1994 and 1996, produced 12 albums, 10 of which were released posthumously. We started 8 movies, and he wrote 2 books of poetry. And you're stressing out about you know, writing a blog post. I'm stressing out about writing 1 book in 6 or 8 months. It's ridiculous. You have to have some urgency. Like, you have to not always believe that you're gonna live 80 more years, because you might not. You know, you just have to wake up in the morning with this mentality that's already too late. I don't want to make this whole like civil rights thing, but Malcolm X has a great quote about this.
Do it yourself philosophy. Do it right now philosophy. It's already too late philosophy.
He was talking about black nationalism and why black people need to just figure out their shit now, whatever. And he said, you know, it's a do-it-yourself philosophy, a do-it-right-now philosophy, it's already too late philosophy. That's the philosophy you gotta have for your life. You just gotta figure out what it is you wanna do and then say, shit, I'm already late. Because that's it, you can wait until tomorrow, you're fucking dead. You know, I had a friend from Under 30 Experiences, which is a great group of friends of mine. We do a lot of work together, and I love everyone that's involved there. I had a friend who was swimming out in Costa Rica, and he got pulled in by riptide. He's fucking gone. I really hope he's not. I hope and pray that they find him and he's safe. He got pulled in by riptide in the ocean, and he's gone. He's just gone. He's a 20-year-old dude. He woke up, and now that's it. He has no more life. You know, you gotta have urgency. If you want something, you gotta go out and get it now. You gotta stay up late. If you value sleep more than you value getting your shit done, well, then you're always gonna be sleeping and not getting your shit done. And I'm not saying don't rest your body. I'm not saying don't take care of yourself, but like, wake up with some urgency and some intensity and some purpose and some focus. Like, you don't have that much time to do what you want to do, and there really will come a point one day where you will wake up in your bed and it will be too late to do the things you want to do. I know it seems so far away, and I'm talking on a blog called Rich 20-something, and that implies that I have 80 more years to where the fuck I want, but maybe we really don't, you know? So if that's the case and we really don't know, then shouldn't we err on the side of caution and say, maybe I should be a little bit more pressured to get some things done?
You will move in the direction of the people that you associate with. So it's important to associate with people that are better than yourself. You want to associate with people who are the kind of person you'd like to be. You'll move in that direction. The friends you have, they will form you as you go through life, and make some good friends, keep them for the rest of your life, but have them be people that you admire as well as like.
Bill, you'd add to that?
Yeah, some friends do bring out the best in you, and so it's good to invest in those friendships. And you know, some friends challenge you about things you're doing, and that, you know, that level of intimacy is great. I wouldn't say that I was so obsessed with work. I didn't invest, I'd say, in my 20s and 30s as much as I should have. It's really through Melinda and seeing, you know, other people, I realized, okay, that is, you know, it's really worth the investment to have those people, as you're always there to help them, and vice versa.
Related to this pendulum, when it comes to fitness, when it comes to personal development, when it comes to business success advice, any kind of other advice, is that a lot of people, I mean, there's been a lot of marketing in the last couple of years that is basically doing this. It's saying, hey, find the experts, and I've been saying this as well. I mean, many times I say this, right? Find the experts, find the guy who has done it, find the guys who have the results that you want, that has the business, that has the body, that has the lifestyle, that has the relationships, and study them. Learn from them, master what they know, because they will probably be able to help you to get to your goal faster, right? And that's the assumption, and that's true, right? If you seek out an expert in, let's say, someone who has built multiple 7-figure businesses, obviously, I mean, you can learn from them and you'll be able to get there faster. Similarly with relationships, if you find someone who is an expert at that, I mean, they'll be able to help you get there faster. To whatever person you want to meet, or to master social skills, to get better at that, obviously they will know, right? And it's really good that we live in an age where there is that information out there, there is that abundance, and there is that ability for you to kind of use that as a shortcut to get your results faster. But now what's happened is that there's this pendulum that has swung in that direction, where people will spend literally all of their time studying other people. Like 99% of their time will be spent studying and trying to copy what other people are doing, and there's 0 minutes spent studying yourself, right? And studying yourself is where you actually see whether something is working for you or not. And it's almost like people are blinded, and there's obviously a finite amount of time. And if you're not studying yourself, you're not looking at what works for you, how are you gonna figure that out? How are you gonna get results? And I mean, success is not random, you know? It's not like it'll randomly happen because you read this book. It's not gonna randomly happen because you met this guy, or you networked with this guy, or you copied this guy's workout, or you bought a program. I mean, it's not randomly gonna happen. But what is gonna happen is that you're gonna take action based on the ideas, based on the principles or the methods that you potentially received from some of those programs, from some of those people that are really successful, and you apply some of that stuff and you see what stuff works for you, and you discard the stuff that doesn't work for you. That's basically how it works.
Whenever you look at somebody that's been successful, do not allow yourself to make them extraordinary at your expense. You're capable of whatever it is that they're capable of. But it comes down to the mental constructs that you're going to have to build and leverage in your own mind in order to do something great. So I switched my self-esteem from being right and being smart to being the learner who was always willing to admit that he was wrong, identify the right answer, give credit to the person who thought of it, and put more energy behind it than anyone else. And that became my driver.